All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone. I think we can do better than that, yeah? Because the last session of the day, tomorrow is Friday. All right, hello, everyone. That's much, much better, much, much better. All right, so in this session, I am thrilled to share with you the innovations that we are bringing forward in the lens of Copilot readiness and resiliency for your Microsoft 365 content, okay? And we're going to run through quickly a framing, few slides. Then we're going to dive into product demos. It's going to be a demo-heavy session. I'm pretty sure all of you will love it. Starting with readiness for Copilot, which is where our governance product come into play, which is SharePoint Advanced Management. Then we'll touch on Copilot Relevancy, and then Copilot Resiliency, and then we'll finally finish with some closing comments. And if you have time, we'll definitely encourage you for Q&A as well. So, show of hands, how many of you here in the room are Microsoft 365, SharePoint, Teams, Exchange admins? Yeah? Wow, that's like pretty much all of you. You're on the right spot. You're going to love this segment. And we'll make this Ignite the best show for you, this session for you, okay? Next question. Who is currently using Microsoft 365 Copilot? Yeah? Cool. Then how many of you have built or using any sort of agents today in your organization? Cool, very good. So first thing I want to start with is the biggest announcements we made in our Ignite this week is the Agent 365. It is the control plane for all your agents in your organization. We literally mean all your agents. It could be built using any agentic platform, be it OpenAI, Anthropic, Copilot Studio, Salesforce, and so on. And the reason for that is we believe agent security and governance is the fundamental to succeed in this agentic era for all of us. The Agent 365 has 5 major capabilities, starting with observability. How many agents that I have in my organization? What are they doing? And who are they collaborating with in my organization? That's what we mean by agent observability. Second is access control. I mean, as admins and security professionals, you all know how important permissions are. And for this agentic era, it is even more important to, from the get-go, have a clear, low-privileged access controls for all these agents. And third is data security. Because content, which is what this session is going to all about, the security of that data is super important. Because at the end, what you give is what you're going to get the response back from the agent, garbage in, garbage out. But at the same time, security of those content is super critical. And the fourth capability is around threat protection. If there are phishing attacks or prompt injection attacks that happens, then Microsoft Defender will be able to help you with those threat protection capability as well. And finally, these agents are embodied in your flow of work across all the productivity apps that you use, be it Teams, Outlook, Office apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or SharePoint, OneDrive. We'll bring these agents embodied in all those experiences. But the crux of all this success depends on the content that you have in Microsoft 365. And the content is going to grow exponentially in this AI era. In fact, take a guess. In M365, every day, how much documents are we getting? Any guesses, anyone? How many documents are getting uploaded, new or documents that are getting uploaded? Any guesses, anyone? 1 billion? It's 3 billion documents. Is how many we are seeing uploaded or newly created in Microsoft 365. That's the growth that we are seeing. And I believe it's just going to grow even bigger in the next 2 to 3 years as these agents come into the workforce. So there are 3 major pillars here when it comes to getting your content resilient and readiness. First is obviously Get the content ready, meaning take care of your permissions, governance of the content, or even agent governance itself. And that's the first pillar, content readiness. We will cover how we can help you with oversharing problem, to content sprawl, to agent insights. Second, content relevancy. This is the, I would say, under-known concept. I really want to bubble this up for all of you. As I said, garbage in, garbage out. That's what you get in the Copilot and agent experiences. If you ask something to Copilot, how good the response is really depending on what all you have access to. It could be content that is sitting there for 20 years, it doesn't have a lot of value, versus the recently active content that you already have in your system. So it's very important, those inactive content that you have, or the dormant content, legacy content that you have, do something about them. Because that way your end users will get a much better experience, responses from Copilot and your agents as well. So that is content relevancy. Then the third one is the content resiliency. Much like we all have, good actors have access to AI and all these agents, same thing is for bad actors too. They have the exact same access as well. That means they are also going to be pace with us, compete with us in terms of attacking our own tenants as well. And that's where the resiliency becomes more important in this AI era. Meaning, if something happens, if the agent got rogue and deleted some of your content, you should be able to recover. That means you first have to back them up so that you can always recover them as well. So those are the simple 3 R's for you to remember. Readiness, relevancy, and resiliency. And content is the core of the success of any Copilot deployment as well as the agentic deployment. With that, we're going to cover 3 product areas that's going to help you with those 3 R's. First, to start with SharePoint Advanced Management. How many of you here are aware of SharePoint Advanced Management? Yeah? Yeah. So it's been out for almost 2 years now. It's part of Copilot's queue. So if you have a Copilot licenses, you have already access to SharePoint Advanced Management capabilities. And today, Dave is going to show us much more innovations that are coming in SharePoint Advanced Management. That's going to help you govern your content and get ready for Copilot and agents. Second, Microsoft 365 Archive. Now, this is another product we have to help you with taking care of your inactive content and lifecycle of your content in your tenancy. And then finally, Microsoft 365 Backup. This is another great product we have natively available in our service, helps you to make your tenancy resilient, as well as we have partnership with fantastic partners already. And we'll have actually one of the partners on stage today to share their story as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dave to walk us through on content readiness with SharePoint Advanced Management. Let's welcome Dave.
All right. Thank you, Sesha. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. And thank you for everyone that is watching online as well. This session is streamed, I believe. So I'm going to talk about SAM and all the new cool features that we're bringing in. We're going to dive into a little bit more detail. We had a little summary session earlier, so this is a little bit more of a deep dive. First of all, just to remind everyone, SAM has 3 different pillars that we build everything towards. So that's a content sprawl and lifecycle, what Sesha mentioned. Oversharing is a big one. And then the new area that we're kind of building out, and you'll see some features coming out, and that's around agent governance, because agent is now becoming a new thing that needs to be governed. I'm sure you've heard this in this conference at least once. So here's a really quick overview of the entire suite. So SAM covers now a lot of different things. We have a lot of reports, lots of capabilities. Everything that is in blue here is new. So this is the stuff that we're going to talk about today. I will be after this session sticking around, so if you have questions about things that we've already launched or any of the new stuff, I'm more than happy to go through that. So the first session I do want to announce is called Content Management Assessment. So this session, this feature is actually designed to make it super simple for our customers to onboard and just start using the functionality, assessing whether you even have a problem. And once you do have, if you do have a problem, what do you do next? So it's pretty straightforward. You come to SharePoint Admin Center, click the Advanced Management button on the left nav. You have one button to click, Start Assessment. So this assessment can take 24 to 24 hours to around 5 days or so, sometimes, depending on the size of your tenant and how complex your content infrastructure is. But it will generate a report like this. So it's a very, very straightforward, simple report that will show you how many sites are actually are in need of your, your input or review. Then you have a few different areas there that you can see site inactivity, missing ownership of the site, broken permission inheritance, org-wide permissions, and organization anyone's shared links. So these are, so on the right-hand side, those are the big primary areas of oversharing that we see that are very, very common. There are others, but this is a good place to start. And on the left side, what Sesha mentioned is you're really cleaning out your content so you don't have to manage things that really don't matter, right? That are outdated or no one is using. So, and we'll talk about those in general. So when you click on each of these different areas, we will actually give you a really nice breakdown of why this is a problem, and then what are the steps, what are the things that you need to do to go and fix those. And we'll even direct you to the right area so that you don't have to worry about knowing any specific features or anything else like that. So pretty straightforward. That area is going to develop over time, so that's something that we're building out. Permission reports. So we have an area in SAM called Data Access Governance. So Data Access Governance has several reports. Oops, sorry, too fast. Okay, so it has several reports. The specific one that we're going to talk about is the report, the permission state report that is specific to a user. This is a new report that we're announcing. So up until today, you've had to basically run the permission state report, which is a tenant-wide report that gives you all the sites and how those sites are permissioned and everything. One feedback that we got is, okay, so I see all these sites, but sometimes I really need to do an investigation and I need to understand what does Joe have access to specifically. Especially, this is important when you're offboarding users from your tenant, right? So now you're going to be able to do that. It's pretty straightforward. So actually, this is an example of the report that we currently have, which is the permission state report. And it comes with site access review that allows your site owners to go and evaluate the potential problematic files that are in their site. So if you have questions about this, we can definitely cover this in a lot more detail, but this is something that has been out for a while, so we're not going to cover it too much. So the new report is this one. Pretty straightforward to set it up. You can set it up for SharePoint sites or OneDrives, and it will work. You select the specific users that you want to include. You can have up to 100 as of right now. I would love to hear feedback if you expect to have more than that at any particular time. I've already actually heard some feedback that customers want more than 100, so that's great to know. Now, the important thing that you're going to get with this report is, one, is going to be very specific to a person, to a user. So in this case, Brenda has access to all these sites. And there are 3 specific columns that are extra important, okay? So the first one is, does Brenda have access to the actual site, right? The second one is, if she does, then, or if she doesn't, then does she have access to files where someone added Brenda individually, right, by name into the file, right? So those files usually Brenda would know about, okay? And then the third category there is the files that were indirectly shared with Brenda. So she might not know about those. So for example, Brenda could be part of a group, and that group was within, included in a team chat, and then someone just shared a link in that team chat. In that case, Brenda has access to that link, but she might not realize that she has access to it, okay? So this is really, really important information, because when you're trying to figure out oversharing situation, this is kind of the situations where you would have potential oversharing happen, because Brenda, in this case, is essentially, her Copilot will have access to all this information that she might not even realize that she has access to. Okay. The next thing that we're going to talk about really quickly is catalog management. So this is a new, exciting area that is coming to SharePoint Advanced Management. This area, essentially, we're starting out by essentially giving you a view of how your content is structured across 5 different categories. Or, yeah, 6 different categories, sorry. And that's... So actually, yeah, so it's location, a department, user type, PDL. So if you're using multi-geo, you will see that breakdown happen as well by preferred data location, and then also info barriers. Okay, what this will give you is ability to target any policies that you have across the board. So just imagine, let's say you are a multinational company and you have some sites and some content in Europe, let's say, and then some content in US. That content will require different types of governance, right? So laws are different, policies, compliance policies are all different. So you can now start implementing this. This will also help you in the future, and Reetu is going to talk about departmental billing and like how you can start using departments to kind of break down the billing, et cetera. So this information will start flowing there. And also, this will also act as a foundation and grounding for your Copilot and your agents that will be also using this information to help you execute actions. Setup is pretty quickly. You will just log into the page. We will actually pre-run the report for you. It will be updated every 24 hours. And when you land on the page, you'll already see the data. So you don't even have to run the report there. You will be able to restructure it if you want to. So you can rename things and kind of make sure that we're not just, so you're not just using the default names that we have there. And by the way, we are using metadata of the site, and we're also using metadata from the user as well to come up with these specific buckets. Now, the really cool thing that a lot of customers have been asking for is, we have quite a few customers that are using custom properties in the property bag, and then custom properties in Entra for specific users. And that's how they bucket a lot of their billing and kind of differentiate their governance across different departments that they have. Now you will actually be able to do that here from UX. So right now, we're not letting you add the new custom properties from here yet, but I have a lot of feedback saying that that's something that is needed as well. So I would love your feedback here as well. So pretty exciting stuff. So far, does this sound exciting to you? Okay, sounds good. Woo, yeah. All right, let's continue on. So again, all this stuff will be basically a data that the Copilot will be grounded on, and then some of the skills that we're going to talk about and agents that we're going to talk about in just a second will be grounded on. Now, you have heard about agents a lot throughout this entire conference. Now, those agents are great, and I'm sure you've seen demos of controlling the agents, like turning on agents, turning off agents, etc. This, in SharePoint, like Sesha mentioned earlier, we're really dealing with content governance. So as far as the agents are concerned, the way, what we need to govern there is what content does agent has access to, okay? And we want to give you the tools to be able to control that. So in this case, we're actually introducing a new report called Agent Insights. This report will essentially give you an overview of all the sites that you have, as well as what agents are actually active on those sites. So if you look at the screen there, in the outline box, you're actually seeing the specific agents that are specifically accessing that site, what they're doing, how often they're accessing, etc. And if you do see that an agent is accessing content that you don't want it to access, you can actually block it with RCD, or restricted content discovery, or restricted access control as well. So you have control around how agents access the content within the site as well. So pretty cool stuff. It's pretty easy to set up, so you basically just choose the site, open up the panel, and then you can select either RCD or rack. Now, the big thing that I really want to, I'm super, super excited to announce here today is I want to introduce the SharePoint admin agent. So this is really your content governance agent for your SharePoint content, SharePoint OneDrive content. Okay? So this agent is going to be grounded on all the different reporting and all the different data that we have within SAM and within the SharePoint, which again, SharePoint backs all the collaboration across Microsoft 365. So you're essentially seeing all the content, or it has access to all the data and the content that you have within your organization. Now, it's going to be able to do 5 different things. So it's going to be able to help you control permissions, deal with storage. So storage management, by the way, is a new area that we're introducing as part of this, agentic. We're going to start out with the agent, and then based on your feedback, we'll grow that area if needed as part of reports. Lifecycle management, agent management, and catalog management. They'll all be going to be integrated, and this agent will have access to all that data. The other thing I do want to call out is that this agent will actually have access to underlying data and the metadata as well that you don't necessarily have access to from within the experience itself, or it's much harder to get access to it. You need to kind of script it out or access it differently. So let's talk about the agentic skills we have. So storage, lifecycle, permission is what we're starting with, and then we're going to slowly integrate the rest of the areas we talked about over the next several months. So the way you're going to start using this agent is essentially turning on your Copilot. So right now it's part of Copilot. We are building it out as a separate agent as well that you can kind of invoke it from within Copilot Studio as well, but right now it's going to be within your Copilot area. Now, the way you're going to access it is, I call it the sparkle menu on the bottom, that little sparkly area. When you click on it, the menu will come up with the specific agentic capabilities that this agent is going to have. So as you can see, storage, lifecycle, permissions is going to be part of it. It can also do multi-dimensional or multi-variable search for you. And if you want to find a site, let's say there is a marketing site with certain other parameters, it can actually go ahead and find that for you as well. And obviously the how-to, you can ask whatever questions you want. Now, to get started, we had a lot of customers ask, okay, where do I start? How do I start using it? What prompt do I need to put in? Things like that. We're actually giving you some starter prompts. So you can actually just go ahead and start using that. Or if you know what you're asking for, you can just type it in. So you don't have to use the starter prompts. They're just there for you to help you. Now, things that you're going to start seeing here is really, the agent is going to be able to do this kind of an analysis of the data it has on your behalf. So you don't necessarily need to go through all the sort of different reports and pull up data, analyze it, etc., and try to figure out what to do. The agent is going to be able to do that for you. And in this case, you see there are a couple of things that we're introducing there that are super exciting, like growth rate, for example. So in this case, we're running the storage skill. So it's giving you analysis of not just like how much storage you're using, but it gives you a little bit more intelligent data, like the growth rate. And how, if you continue on using it at this point, when are you going to run out of this storage, right? Or if there are any notable spikes that happen in a certain period of time. You can also see the integration of catalog management here, where you're starting to see the breakdown of how the storage is used between the different locations where the data is generated from, the sites are generated from. And it also gives you different opportunities and different cleanup capabilities and kind of helps you clean this up. The agent will also, besides recommendation, it could also give you actually do things on your behalf as well. Now, in this case, the other thing that we're integrating here is the ability for the agent to look at your tenant settings. In this case, we're talking about storage still. So it's going to look at your tenant settings, analyze your settings, and see if they can optimize or give you recommendations on optimization, and also give you kind of the results that you can expect if you optimize these settings. So we're starting to get a lot more intelligent with the recommendations. It's not just how-to questions anymore. You're actually doing deep dive data analysis and an execution of different tasks and actions. So continuing on with the lifecycle, so this is an example of the lifecycle capability. So in this case, we asked about what are some of the sites that need to be cleaned up because they're not being used for a while, and then Copilot went in and looked at the inactivity report and basically looked at the latest inactivity report that you've had, and then generates the sites and related actions as well. So from the recommendations there, you can see archive is one of the examples there. So it doesn't only just like say, hey, here's the sites that we found that are inactive, but it also gives you solutions that you can actually implement. So if you have archive set up, that's something that you can implement as well. In this case, we're implementing archive, and now these sites are going to be cleaned out and archived in a clean way. You can also ask it to generate a report if you want to check over those sites just to make sure you're not archiving something that you need. With that, I'm going to pass the mic for just a few minutes to my partner here, Reetu. She can talk to you about the archive capability.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
All right, now that you have seen how you could manage, now that you have seen how you can manage content sprawl, let's shift gears and talk about something equally important, relevancy for Copilot. Take your own organization as an example. How many times has stale or inactive content showed up on your search results? What happens if Copilot starts generating insights based on that stale old content? Let's take a deeper look at how Microsoft 365 Archive not only helps save you money in your storage costs, but also helps improve relevancy for Copilot. Microsoft 365 Archive is designed to ensure any inactive or stale content is removed from your active index. This ensures Copilot has access only to the most accurate and most relevant information. Now, this is more than just about improving AI experiences. Rather, it's about enhancing your productivity and building confidence in every Copilot interaction. Microsoft 365 Archive is designed to ensure that you save money on your SharePoint storage costs. And remember, if your tenant is below the SharePoint quota limits, you have access to the tool at no additional cost. Your metadata will always stay intact, and your content will be within access of the security and the trust features that come with Microsoft Purview, giving you that single security and compliance domain to manage. Microsoft 365 Archive has greatly benefited customers around the world. Here are a few customer success stories that we wanted to highlight for you today. Imagine having the challenge of to archive tens and thousands of sites. Kantar, leveraging Microsoft 365 Archive, was able to do just that by archiving more than 100 terabytes of their content. Now, this was more than about clearing capacity for them. It was about having the confidence that their data will always remain protected and accessible for when they need it, and their data estate is clean and can generate the most accurate information for the Copilot. Dentsu, a global leader in advertising and media, was able to save 72% of their SharePoint storage costs. But beyond just cost savings, this is about ensuring Copilot and other Gen AI agents that they deploy only reveals the most relevant information to their end users. Shifting gears, talking about long-term preservation. If long-term preservation and compliance with regulatory requirements is a need, then integration is key. Preservica 365 will integrate directly with Microsoft 365 Archive, allowing you the capability to respond to any of the toughest industry requirements. Now, these success stories clearly indicate that Microsoft 365 Archive is not just a technical solution. It's a strategic advantage. Whether you're looking to save, to comply, or to grow, Microsoft 365 Archive is the right answer. We have seen how Archive can help manage your inactive content. But what happens when your active content needs suddenly spike? Wouldn't it be great if your SharePoint storage scales as fast as your business does? We are very excited to introduce Microsoft 365 Additional Storage Pay-Go service, meant to give you more control over your SharePoint storage. You will use exactly what you need, be able to set budgets, and can scale up and down instantly. It will also seamlessly integrate with Microsoft 365 Archive, giving you that smart content lifecycle control, as well as cost controls. This will allow your organization to stay agile and keep your costs predictable. With that, let me hand it right back to Dave to talk to you about permissions control.
Thank you, Reetu. All right, so this is pretty awesome stuff because now you can use lifecycle management policies that we have to identify automatically content that is inactive, and then automatically archive that and get it out of the Copilot reasoning space without necessarily deleting the content. It's awesome. So next, we're going to really kind of continue on talking about some of the other capabilities that we have within Copilot, or not Copilot, within Copilot and agentic capabilities that we have. So then this next slide talks about, okay, so now we kind of cleaned up the storage a little bit, we archived some stuff, and now we're talking about, okay, oversharing. That's a really big question that people have, and one of the top questions I get when customers run the permission state report is, oh man, it can give me a list of sites up to 1 million sites, right? So I need to go and reason over those and actually bring them into, and actually take actions on them. So now you can do that with this agentic skills. The permission agent skills will actually be able to do that for you because, again, it's integrated with all these reports. So you just need to ask the question. In this case, once you ask the question, it's going to go through and reason over that content and then pull up different things, different patterns that it's seeing, and specific sites also that are impacted by those patterns. So in this case, we're looking at critical risks, so broken inheritance content. Everyone was like, content, critical content that was shared with external users, etc. So pretty cool stuff. And on top of it, it's actually going to give you remediation actions. So it's not just enough to give you some analytics and give you some information. It's also giving you actually recommended actions that you need to take. And in most cases, it will actually be able to take that action, or pretty soon it's going to be able to take those actions on your behalf with your approval, of course. So that said, so in this case, this is a really kind of an interesting scenario here where I've been doing this management and all of a sudden I get a call, or not a call, but email from our security admin saying, hey, we found some potential threat. And we really need to kind of be able to isolate and actually back up all the or restore from backup so we can actually get back and running. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Reetu so she can talk about the next topic.
Thanks, Dave. It's me again. As you can see, we've just gotten a security alert from our incident response team. A critical ransomware attack has impacted all of our critical SharePoint sites, impacting departments like sales, legal, and finance. Now, these sites contain some sensitive business data, and the impact is severe. An estimated 100 terabytes plus of content has been impacted. Now, since this is a tenant-wide encryption event, we need an immediate response. We will need a solution that can support bulk recovery fast. Now, this is a situation where a tool like Microsoft 365 Backup is absolutely essential. Its purpose-built architecture is designed to give you tenant-wide recovery at ultra-fast speeds. Let's go into a demo to see the tool in action. Now, in this demo, I have already protected all of my critical data, SharePoint sites, Exchange mailboxes, and OneDrive. And I'm going to kickstart a restore task by uploading a list of sites in a CSV file. Once I have been able to upload the impacted site list, I will be able to choose a point in time right before the ransomware attack to recover from. I have the choice to replace my backups with a healthy backup snapshot, and within a couple of clicks, I can trigger a restore task. Now, fast forward, around 16 hours later, we were able to recover 112 terabytes of content. Now, that's really fast. We are back in business. Now that you have seen how backup can deliver resiliency at scale, let's take a moment to understand why that's important. Ransomware attacks are increasingly becoming sophisticated, shifting more towards human-operated, targeted campaigns that respond in real time to your defenses. And the financial impact, that's really severe, with ransomware demands increasing 5-fold just in the last year. But ransomware attacks are not the only risk. Client-side data attacks, including malicious insider data attacks, or even accidental large-scale deletions by an employee or even a rogue app, are all just as equally damaging. It's important to select a recovery tool that can get you back in business fast. That's exactly what Microsoft 365 Backup is designed to give you: tenant-wide recovery at ultra-fast speeds. Imagine if you were a CIO of a large organization that has come under a cyber attack. You simply do not have weeks or months to wait to get your data back in. Microsoft 365 Backup can protect and recover your data fast. For example, if you had 1,000 average-sized OneDrive, SharePoint, or Exchange mailboxes, or a mix of the three, you will be able to recover at a rate of 3 terabytes per hour. So if you take an average-sized tenant with a typical attack penetration, that's recovery in a matter of hours, not days. Now, we store multiple physically disparate copies across multiple regions in append-only immutable storage, giving you high availability and disaster recovery. Today, we support OneDrive, Exchange, and SharePoint services, with more additional M365 services to be added soon. You can adopt our solution either by choosing our native application right from M365 Admin Console, or you can adopt a hybrid solution that is offered by one of our recognized partner solutions that integrates directly with our platform. This gives you best of both worlds, the advanced features that our ISV partners have to offer, plus the ultra-fast recovery the platform delivers. The bottom line is this: if you were to choose a solution that only relies on the traditional offline backup copies, then you will not be able to recover fast. If recovery times are critical, then you must choose a solution that has been integrated with Microsoft 365 Backup. If there's one key takeaway that you want to take from this talk, you're not really buying backup. You're buying the ability to recover quickly. And that's exactly what Microsoft 365 Backup delivers. All right, we have just seen how backup can deliver resiliency at scale. But we are not stopping there. We have several major feature enhancements designed to give you more precision and more control for more enhanced resiliency in an AI-powered future. Starting with granular restore. Up until now, you had the power to restore entire sites at scale, but now you can select specific files or folders, in other words, precisely what's needed to recover without impacting any active business processes or active projects. Let me dive into a quick live demo to show the tool in action. I'm sorry, my machine did sleep, so you have to give me a moment. It's live, so all things good. All right. Okay, imagine a scenario where Java's organization's finance director, Andre, has managed to delete a couple of critical files from his finance reporting folder. He also managed to clear his recycle bins, thinking he was clearing his old files. Now, there is no way for the end user to recover any of those files. Suppose a coworker were to prompt Copilot to summarize the last quarter's results. Copilot most likely will not be able to generate the most accurate responses. Let's see how you, as a backup administrator, is able to resolve this situation. As you can see, this is the Microsoft 365 Backup Admin Console. All I have to do is kickstart a restore task and choose the option to restore specific files or folders. Once that's done, I can scroll over to my target site. In our case, it's the Global Finance Team site, which has the folder. Once I'm able to select the sites, I will be able to browse the contents of the site. But before that, let me choose a point in time where the user complained that he deleted the file. We found a restore point. Let's select this specific content. There you go. I want to go into documents, and I want to be very, very specific because I do not want to interrupt any other processes. This is the folder that I'm targeting. Again, you can choose a combination of files and folders. For this demo, let's just choose this folder and the contents within it. Just review the restoration task, and we'll kickstart the restoration. As the restoration task completes, let me introduce to you another feature that we are working that is designed to give you more precision and more control. We are excited to launch Departmental Billing for Microsoft 365 Backup, currently in private preview. Departmental Billing for Microsoft 365 Backup will allow you to define backup policies with more granular scope. For example, you can define policies by departments, member firms, or geographic locations, and then manage the pay-go charges across multiple Azure subscriptions. This way, your departments has full visibility over their own usage and can make decisions on their own data protection investments. Again, let's switch back to the demo to see how we can leverage Microsoft 365 Backup for departmental billing. As you know, Java's organization is a global enterprise with multiple departments across the world. The current challenge is all of their billing policies is tied to a single tenant-wide global policy. Let's rectify the situation with a new feature, departmental billing. As you can see, the billing policies is all tied to global billing policies. So all I have to do is go to pay-go, to go to billing, go to pay as you go. As you can see, we have a few billing policies already defined. Let me create a new one for the marketing department. Oops. And I can choose the America Backup Azure subscription, and I can assign it to the marketing resource group. I can choose a region. I can accept the terms and conditions. If I choose, I can set the budget, review the policy, and the final step would be to connect the policy to the backup service. There you go. Last step is to connect the service to backup. OK, once it's connected, I can go back to the backup console and start assigning each of my backup policies to the departmental billing. We can update the billing policy, and I have a choice of various departments that I want to assign it to. OK, let's switch gears and talk about another feature enhancement that we are bringing in called the dynamic rules. Now that you have seen how departmental billing can give you more granular visibility into billing and cost controls, but how about aligning your backup policies to your organization structure? Now, this is where dynamic policies can introduce automation and intelligence into your policies. Instead of manually updating your policies every time roles shift or reorganizations happen, you can leverage dynamic policies using security groups and distribution lists to automatically manage the scope of the protection in your backup policies with no intervention required. Let's take a look at, let me switch to the demo and show you how I could create the dynamic policies. It's going to be a quick, I can create a OneDrive backup policy. I can choose a dynamic rule. In here, I want to choose global marketing, product marketing, be able to choose marketing leadership, users, be able to assign the billing policy. Next, and we have created a backup policy based on a dynamic rule. OK, as we were doing this, let's check into the restore task that we had started. As you see, the first line, that's where it reports that it has completed the restoration task for the finance reports. And I can just very quickly switch over and show you the end user experience as well. This is the finance report, reporting site. All the restored items is stored in a dedicated folder. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. With that, I would like to hand it to Sesha.
Awesome. Was it good? Yeah? You liked it? Ooh! Here we go. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have been partnering with many 3P ISV partners. And today, I am thrilled to have one of them on stage with us. Let's welcome Dan Jones from Veeam. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you, Sesha. It's great to be here.
Great to be. Thank you for being the great partner. It's been a fantastic journey with you on the backup product. Tell us about your role and what Veeam is about and how you have been using MBS.
Wonderful. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Jones. I lead the Veeam Data Cloud business for Veeam. We are a data protection ISV, a very, very close business partner with Microsoft. And we've been working together for about the last year and a half specifically on the Microsoft 365 backup storage opportunity. It's been a game changer for our customers. Really, customers across segment, across all industries have benefited from these new capabilities. And as you were just hearing from Reetu, a large part of that has to do with the dramatic improvement that we've seen in terms of the data protection backup as well as restore. In essence, achieving what could formerly be done in a day in just an hour. And so customers with very large Microsoft 365 data estates are really benefiting.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Dan. And one other question. Maybe can you share with us some customer stories, like what sort of customers that you see are excited about this partnership and the backup product together?
Yeah, in industries where customers are making significant use of Microsoft 365 data, where it's really a big part of the mission critical nature of what they're doing, where they can't afford to not have their data available to them. So things like professional services, government, education, manufacturing, healthcare are some of the big industries. Anyone that has to get restored immediately, site-wide, in the case of a bad actor encrypting their data, are some of the big stories that we have. Hundreds of customers have onboarded to our premium service, tens of thousands of users. So we're really excited about the opportunity that we have going forward with our customers, thanks to our partnership with Microsoft.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dan. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. It's time to take the phone out. Okay? Roadmap. I know you're all very excited, yeah? So I'm going to quickly flash 2 roadmap slides for you. Reetu talked about, wow, everybody has taken the phone. Thank you. Including me. I'm going to take the picture too. Backup and archive. This is our roadmap. I'm not going to drain the slide. The only one I would call out here is many of you have asked us, when is Teams support coming for backup and archive, right? So we are working on it. It will be here very soon. You can see that Teams chat backup and restore is definitely in our work in development progress. Stay tuned for more updates there. Next roadmap slide. SharePoint Advanced Management. What's coming up in there? You saw like we've come a long way in the content governance space. And we are not stopping here. We have more coming in the next 6 to 12 months, as you can see here. The key thing I would call out is the SharePoint admin agent that Dave talked about in Q2 2026. You will be able to set automated end-to-end actions as well, so that the agent can do the work for you 24/7, watching the oversharing or lifecycle or the storage aspects in your tenancy and take actions for you, okay? So we're looking at that too. But I know it's a lot. So I wanted to share that one QR code here with you. And all the things we showed today, you can just go to this page, aka.ms/ACM, Advanced Content Management, /blog/Ignite 2025. So with that, I wanted to thank you all for coming today, and folks who have tuned online. Have a wonderful way back home and great Ignite as well. Thank you very much, folks. We will be starting. Okay?
Thank you for attending. If you guys have any questions for the presenters, they'll be out in the hallway. Thank you so much for attending.